Mr. Speaker, I rise today in strong opposition to H.R. 1180, the so-called Working Families Flexibility Act. The name of this bill is pretty deceiving. In reality, this legislation only worsens the significant problem of wage theft. Violators of our wage and hour laws do not need another way to cheat workers out of their pay, but that's exactly what H.R. 1180 gives them. The problem of wage theft has reached epidemic proportions, and overtime violations are all too common. All H.R. 1180 does is give dishonest employers who want to steal workers' paychecks any number of smokescreens, like denying requested and hard-earned time off because it would be an undue burden to business operations to hide behind. Further, we know from experience that significant litigation over payment of wages owed under comp time programs in the public sectors exists. Yet this legislation includes no additional funding for the Department of Labor to enforce or implement these provisions. Even worse, this legislation is being considered while President Trump has proposed a severe 21% budget cut to DOL. It simply makes no sense to give unscrupulous employers another mechanism for stealing workers' hard-earned paychecks while providing no additional resources for employees who need help recovering their stolen pay. I'd like to share with you a story from a New Yorker who has felt the direct and negative consequences of wage theft and comp time. During her 40-plus years as a secretary, word processor, and paralegal, she worked hundreds of extra hours and was frequently promised comp time. She never received it, not once. Further, any time pay was usually conveniently forgotten, and she feared she would lose her job if she asked for her rightful pay or promised time off. Rather than protect employees like this woman, H.R. 1180 would do the opposite and produce more of these unjust, horrendous stories.
Mr. Speaker, I give the gentleman an additional minute.
Is recognized for additional minute.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Mr. Speaker, I offer an amendment during the markup of this bill which would have stopped this legislation from enabling bad actors to cheat workers out of their pay. It would have exempted willful and repeated violators of the minimum wage and overtime protections from this act, but my Republican colleagues unanimously voted against this amendment, a clear indication of where they stand on protecting hardworking Americans. I urge my colleagues to vote no on this bill, and I yield back my time.